Today, lots of sellers are making plans to put their home on the market, excited to cash out and reap the benefits of the massive run-up in the value of homes during the past couple of years. The first thought that comes to many is, how much money are we going to get? That's natural, and in case you haven't sold a home recently, today I want to take a look at what Brooklyn sellers can expect to reap from the sale of their home. This is Marcia Melendez, your friendly Brooklyn realtor, bringing you valuable videos about real estate, business, and everything Brooklyn. So please remember to give me that thumbs up and subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. This video is going to take a look at sellers' closing costs. But before we do that, let's look at what closing actually is. Closing is the end phase in the home buying process when money and documents are transferred in order to transfer ownership of the sold property to the new buyer and owner. In a successful closing, the day we all pray for, both the seller and the buyer fulfill the agreements that they made in the original contract. The seller will pay off all loans on the property to clear the title, if there is any. The buyer and their lender will wire and transfer money to cover the balance owed on the purchase of the home. Closing is facilitated by a third party called an escrow company, which ensures that all money, documents, and other items needed to close the sale are properly executed, exchanged, and registered with the municipal authorities. In some states and municipalities, closing only requires an escrow agent. But in Brooklyn and New York State, closings require an attorney for both the buyer and the seller, as well as the title company who will actually facilitate the whole closing process. Now, let's take a look at what some of these costs look like. While we all have costs incurred with buying and, yes, the selling of our homes, here in New York City, there are some additional factors that we need to be aware of. Sellers pay fewer expenses than buyers, but they may actually pay more in total at the closing, and you're going to see why. Typically, sellers pay the real estate agent commission for both selling their home and the buyer that is going to purchase their home. That generally amounts to 5 to 6% of the total purchase price, which is shared between both the selling agent and the buyer's agent. So that's a big chunk for the sellers. So that's usually why their total costs end up to be more than the buyer's selling cost. We do have a video that itemizes the buyer's closing costs, and you could take a look at it at the end of this video. Some sellers try to forego using the services of a professional realtor to help sell their home, called for sale by owners, or FSBOs in real estate jargon. This can work if you have experience with buying and selling property, but more often than not though, FSBOs usually leave money on the table because they attract all the potential bargain hunters. The typical thinking of a lot of homeowners who look at homes for sale by owners is that they're going to get a bargain. Since the seller won't have to work with a real estate agent to sell their home, they figured those savings they're going to automatically pass on to the new home buyers. Not necessarily so. Another thing we have to think about is that FSBO homes often take longer to sell, and they're more likely to fall out of contract after you have a buyer, because you don't have anybody professional that's coordinating the whole selling process. If it falls out of contract, you have to start the process all over again. So this, and with all the complexities of today's real estate market and the risk of having unknown and unvetted people schlepping through your home, most sellers make the wise decision to engage the services of a professional realtor. Listen, besides the stress and work involved to sell your home, you would still have to pay a 3% fee to the broker who brings a buyer to you. So you're just better off hiring a professional to do the job properly from the beginning. Statistics prove that homes sold by realtors garner, on average, 6 to 10% more than those sold by their owners. So think about these factors when you think about the fees that you have to pay. You also need to think about the cost which involve getting your home ready to sell. Today they call it staging your home for sale. If your home needs major updates and renovations, you might decide to not invest the money needed and basically just sell it as is. That's a good strategy. Even in those cases, though, it is still a good idea to invest a few dollars to complete a thorough decluttering and cleaning. A house looks so much better. I don't care how many things it has wrong with it. Even if your home needs updating, it will look 10 times better after a thorough cleaning and decluttering. I have another video that speaks to that. In New York City, you will pay a transfer tax of 1 to 1.425% depending on the selling price of your home. New York State transfer tax is 0.4 to 0.65%. You have your attorney's fees, $2,000 to $3,000. The other miscellaneous fees we spoke about at the beginning, prepping your home. As you can see, your total seller's closing costs depend on a number of factors, depending on the overall cost of your home when you're selling it, the local taxes in your state and municipality. In Brooklyn, we have a better idea of what those are. And this chart that I prepared should give you an overall view of what you can expect to pay in Brooklyn for closing out and selling your home. I would suggest you go to an online calculator. They're readily available online, and you can put in all the costs and expenses that you expect to incur. You can put in things such as if you intend to do any renovations, what that will cost, and what your moving costs are going to be. So you can get a better idea of what the total selling closing cost will be in your particular instance. Once you input all the information that's pertinent to your sale, then you can get a better idea of what you expect to net when you sell your home. Marcia Melendez, thanks for watching.